Good morning and welcome to another episode of A Storybook Beauty. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, my name is Astoria and thank you so much for taking the time to check out my vlog today. In this vlog, I'm going to be discussing what it takes to be successful. Now, there are key steps that my mentor discussed with me. The first one is, who do you actually have in your head? I highly recommend that you review my previous vlog. So many times we let people's negative opinions influence us, and at other times when we want to succeed at a certain goal, it seems like everyone has the how-to make it happen. So it gets very confusing and it makes you question, who in the world do I actually listen to? So in my last vlog, I discussed this thoroughly. The second step in determining what it takes to be successful comes down to whether or not you are teachable. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about that, and more specifically, the Teachability Index and how you can find out what yours is. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but learning is actually twofold. So many times we'll hear people say, oh, I know this, I've heard this before, but it's not just about thinking that you know this because you've heard the information before, but it's actually about following through and doing the things that you know you need to do. Herein lies your Teachability Index. Now, the first part of the index is your willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10. The second part of the Teachability Index is your willingness to change on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most willing. In essence, the Teachability Index is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how willing you are to learn, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, again 10 being the most willing, how willing are you to accept change? You take those numbers, multiply them together, that gives you your Teachability Index. If you are a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 in learning, 10 in willingness to change, you multiply the two numbers and you are 100. Congratulations, that's the perfect student. That being said, it is now story time. Now, I've often been told that when I was younger, I was a stubborn child. I don't like the word stubborn. I feel like that's a little aggressive. I like strong-willed. I was a very strong-willed child. I was pretty spoiled, I'm not gonna lie, and I wanted to do whatever it was that I wanted to do. My poor parents. So I was probably about 3 or 4 years old. I picked up a really bad habit of whenever I didn't get my way, I would just fall out on the floor. Didn't matter where it was. I could be going downstairs, I could be walking in front of somebody. I would instantly just stop and fall out and have a tantrum. And I continuously did this nonsense until one day I fell out with a full tantrum and I ended up hitting my head. And that's at the time when my dad was like, okay, enough is enough. And he whooped my butt. And guess what happened? I never had a tantrum ever again. Now, just a little sidebar for those of you who are all, oh, you shouldn't whoop your kids. In my parents' defense, they tried everything in the books to discipline me. Whether we like it or not, children need discipline, especially now more than ever. Not to go too off topic, but my parents tried reasoning with me, and it's really hard to try to reason with a 3 or 4 year old. Plus, I didn't really care what they had to say. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, so that didn't work. Then they tried punishing me. First thing they did was time out. I thought it was a game, so I asked my dad to go get his camera and take some pictures of me. The messed up part is that he actually did. Like, there's pictures of me in timeout with stickers all over my face and like different poses and stuff, so that didn't work. Then they tried to take things away from me. I also thought this was a game too. I was like, oh shoot, he's taking my dollhouse, he's taking my toys. I must obviously be getting new stuff. That's the only logical answer here. So I was helping him. I was like, here, you can take this, and I don't really play with that anymore. You can take that too. So I started helping him clean out my room. So that didn't work obviously either. But when that leather belt hit them little cheeks, woo, that was enough for me. I was done. So instantly, my Teachability Index was a 100. I learned my lesson because I never did that mess again, and I was instantly willing to change because I did not want to feel that pain. Even looking back on my other accomplishments thus far, from the pageants that I've won to the modeling campaigns that I ended up booking, it was a process. None of those things happened overnight. But one of the things that I really feel was so key with me coming out on top in the end was my Teachability Index. My willingness to learn and my willingness to accept change. It took me 3 years before I booked the hair modeling campaign for Outre that I was after. So I started out working with one person, and that was pretty much a dead end, but I didn't give up. Where there is a will, there is a way. So I continued to do my research and look for another person that could help me get to that goal. And I did find that person, someone who had experience and still has experience as a hair model herself. So we set up a shoot together. I paid for it, yes I did, and she coached me through everything, how I needed to move, how I needed to pose so that my pictures were on point. And not even 3 months later, I got a call from the hair company saying that they wanted to book me. Gotta be willing to accept change. There's no other way around it. Now, in case you're wondering where you fall on the spectrum, the way you find out where you are in terms of your teachability index is you ask yourself 2 questions. First, you ask yourself, how willing are you to learn this new information for whatever it is that you're going after? Are you willing to give up your weekends in order to go to a study session or a practice hall, whatever it is? Are you willing to give up that time in order to learn? So you ask yourself that, and then you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being I'll give up anything that I love, as long as it's moral, of course. We're just talking about going to the movies or watching a TV show at a certain time if there's a webinar on that will give you information to improve any situation that you want. Are you willing to learn that information? The last video I did, I talked about the cash flow conference that's going to be taking place in Greensboro on October 19th and 20th. And as my luck would have it, I was scheduled to work on both of those days. That would have been an extra $400 in my bank account if I would have worked those 2 shifts. But in my soul, I just knew that no matter what it took, no matter what I had to give up, I had to be there. The best of the best is going to be there within my company. And I know, going back to rule number 1, who do you listen to? You learn and listen to the people that have the things that you want. So not even for myself, but more so for my family, it's a must, be able to learn from the best. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So the second part of the teachability index, what am I willing to change? Are you really willing to change the way that you think? And are you willing to change the way that you do certain things? Another thing that I was taught is to, for the time being, to temporarily cut back on some of my unnecessary expenses. So I got rid of my cable to free up extra money throughout the month to put it towards other things. I know nowadays most people have Netflix or Hulu, but if in order to start taking the steps to get yourself on the path where you want it to be financially required you to nix your entertainment, would you be willing to change that? When it boils down to it, there's pretty much 2 types of people. It's the people that are willing to do what's necessary to reach their dreams, and those that don't. It just boils down to whether or not you're willing to change. Again, if you yourself are going to be in Greensboro or within the Triad on October 19th and 20th, and you want to attend the Living in the Overflow Cash Flow Conference, a $25 ticket will get you full access the entire weekend, and you'll learn how to get involved with credit restoration, minimizing your taxes, accumulating assets instead of liabilities, and much more. What an investment. I'm leaving New York City to go to North Carolina just to be there for it. So if you're already in Greensboro or even in the Triad, it might be worth taking off work on Friday so that you can attend. If you would like more information on how to purchase tickets, please leave me a comment, or you can shoot me a message on any of my social media platforms. Remember, any successful person you can think of, Michael Jordan, Tony Robbins, Beyonce, they are all where they are right now in life because they modeled after someone else who came before them. For Michael Jordan, it was Dr. J. For Tony Robbins, it was reading numerous books on psychology. And for Beyonce, she had Tina Turner and Michael Jackson, to name a few. So learning is so important, and really learning, not just hearing the information, but actually applying it and making that change. Thank you so much again for tuning into today's vlog. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, feel free to click the subscribe button on this page and make sure that you're following me on all of my social media platforms. Until we see each other again, stay inspired.